I was gonna say, if you're someone who realizes you're abandoning yourself, but the myth and the surprise of this video is that you probably aren't consciously aware of how you're doing it until I start to share the ways that you might be doing it. So that's why I kind of got very tongue-tied at the very beginning of this video. But if you're someone who, is struggling with people pleasing, or you're struggling with self-confidence, and maybe you get pulled into a lot of doubts or limiting beliefs or things like that right now, then this video is going to be very helpful for you, because I'm going to be showing ways that you can take your power back towards yourself and reclaim that power, reclaim your voice, reclaim your gifts, and really start taking up space in the world and showing up the way that you were meant to, and really start thriving. So I've got my phone here with my notes because, as you may know from previous videos, I do not have a very good memory. So I want to make sure that I touch on the most important parts here that I think, and I have personally seen in my own life as well as in so many of my clients, the ways, I think these are really, really deep ways that a lot of people end up getting stuck, and they're kind of self-sabotaging themselves or keeping themselves in these looping patterns that they don't want to be in, but they're not aware that they're doing it, or they don't realize how to break free. So these are 5 ways that you might be abandoning yourself right now without even realizing it. And so number 1 is that you constantly sacrifice your own needs, your wants, and desires to make other people happy. So you can comment down below if you are a fellow people pleaser. This is something I've been working on for quite some time now, and I'm quite happy to say that it is possible to shift out of that. There are still moments where I fall back, and there's still certain relationship dynamics where I find myself more easy to fall into the people pleasing versus others where I I don't know what that, I thought I heard a noise in the plant. There are others where I don't get pulled back nearly as much, and it's easier for me to have firm boundaries. But maybe in your life right now, you are sacrificing your own needs and wants in order to make other people happy. And so, that is a level of abandonment. And what this kind of does for you subconsciously is that it teaches your brain, your subconscious mind, that you are not important enough, that your needs don't matter, and that you come second. And there was this moment in my own life. There's a cat. There's a cat here with me. There was a moment in my own life where I realized that in my people pleasing and in my prioritizing of everyone else, I was teaching them that my needs didn't really matter. And I want to expand on this because it's so powerful and so crucial and life-changing when you grasp it, when you see it, and when you can realize this in your own life. But if I am putting everyone else's needs first and doing the things that they want, making sure they're happy, making sure they're taken care of, there's nothing wrong with that. It's beautiful to be a kind and a giving person. But if I'm doing it at the expense of my own needs and desires and my own health, whether that's mental, physical, emotional, or spiritual, I'm not only teaching them that my needs aren't as important as theirs, but I'm teaching myself, and I'm training my own mind to believe that it is second, or it is third, or it is last. And so there was this moment in my own life where I noticed it with my dad, my relationship to my dad, because I've always just wanted so badly for his love and approval, and he's always not been able to give it to me in the way that I would like. Like, it's there, and I know he loves me, I know he cares about me, and he shows it in his own way, but it's never been in the way that I wanted or hoped for. And so I would do anything I possibly could to, try to get his approval or get his love or make sure he's okay, make sure he's taken care of, making sure he's happy. And in the process of doing that, I realized in taking my own accountability and responsibility for my life, I realized I've kind of taught him that my needs don't matter, because I'm never like expecting it in return, or I'm never asking for him to give back and support me, or I'm never sharing like, hey, this is how I'm feeling right now, or this is something that could help me out as well, or whatever. I was always so focused on him and not on myself, and I was kind of teaching him to do that as well. And there might be people who disagree with this, and you could say like, he's your dad, he's a parent, like his job is to focus on you, so it's not your fault, like he should have been doing that. And I agree to an extent, but I also think that like I was continuing to enable the pattern, because I was continuing to just like show up from this place, and sacrifice my own needs and wants and stop prioritizing myself in this need for his love or approval. So all of a sudden, this one moment, I had this realization of like, Kara, in always putting him first, you've taught him that it's okay to put you last. And a light bulb went off, and I saw this play out in like so many different relationships with the masculine over my life. And I was like, oh my gosh, all of these are the same, where I tried to prioritize them and give, and do everything I possibly could, and just like wanting that love and approval, wanting to make sure they're okay and they're supported and happy. But in doing that, I kind of taught them that it's okay to put me last. And this is not a paradigm or a pattern that I wanted to continue anymore. And so that meant needing to kind of bring that power back to myself, bring that focus back within me, and to realize, okay, how was I abandoning myself when my dad asked for me to help with this thing, and I was actually so incredibly swamped with my own work and didn't have the time for it, but I sacrificed those things and ended up in a worse position because I tried to prioritize him instead of just being honest and saying, hey, I'm really sorry, I can't do that right now. Or other situations, right, where I didn't speak up, or I didn't share my needs or wants, and instead just kind of went with what they wanted. I had a best friend growing up who I felt like she never ever wanted to do what I wanted to do, or to watch what I wanted to watch, or like it was just never about me, which is okay, and I was fine with it for a long time, and I just went with the flow, and I was like, yeah, cool, okay, we could do that, even though none of these things were things I really wanted to do. But I kept abandoning myself to fit in or to belong or to make sure her needs were met, right? And it's the same thing. So how can we take our power back to ourselves and realize like, wait, I'm allowed to want what I want as well, and I'm allowed to go out there and create it, or work towards it, instead of pushing it aside to take care of someone else. So if you're a people pleaser, then number one here is hopefully very relevant for you, and just uncovering, honestly, I would reflect on like, in what areas of my life have I been abandoning myself and my needs and my wants for other people, for their approval, right? Number two coincides a little bit. You're afraid to speak up for yourself and what you believe in because you fear rejection, disagreements, or disharmony. Quite often for people pleasers, we also have some trouble with our throat chakra. Not everyone, but a lot of us, because there is that fear of like causing problems or rocking the boat. And so I know for myself, I had a lot of feelings of like actually feeling physically unsafe to voice my opinion or to voice my needs, because I was so terrified of creating disharmony. And this stuff can come back to things we experienced in childhood and our upbringing, and it can come back to things with past lives even, and things we observed from those around us. So it might not have even happened personally to you where you were like silenced for speaking up, but maybe you witnessed someone else get in a ton of trouble at school for speaking up. And so there became this subconscious belief of like, oh my gosh, voicing my thoughts or opinions creates disharmony or creates problems, so it's not safe for me to do that. So let me know in the comments down below if you're relating to any of these as I share them with you. If you haven't already, please hit the thumbs up. Please make sure you're subscribed and have the notifications turned on as well. So if you feel like you're afraid of that rejection, or you're afraid of causing disharmony, causing problems by speaking up, I would really look into the experiences that are causing you to feel that way and realize once again, okay, now I'm actually giving my power outside of myself though because of that. So as long as I'm continuing, this has been a huge thing for me over the last like year or so of activating my voice. Actually like year and a half, even since I started my YouTube channel and being able to like put my voice out there into the world. uh, it's realizing like if I'm not doing that, I'm sacrificing, I'm abandoning, I'm letting my gifts go to waste, the experiences or the knowledge or the perspectives that I can bring, or just simply the being involved, being a part of a conversation, being present, being here with other people. If I don't speak up, if I'm afraid of causing problems or rocking the boat, then I'm kind of just constantly dimming my own light and once again teaching myself and programming myself to believe that my voice doesn't matter and that I'm not important or I'm not special. I have nothing to offer. And so naturally, I will continue to play that out in so many different situations in my life. And so the more we can become aware of these patterns and the ways where we are abandoning ourselves, and then the more we can start to shift them and start to really come into a place of like, okay, well, how would I want to feel? And how would I be choosing myself in this moment and honoring myself? Because that's what taking your power back is all about. It's about honoring yourself and your needs in that moment. So, one moment that might look like saying no and setting a boundary with someone who you usually are trying to please, right? One moment that might look like speaking up at work or at school, or sharing your opinions, or just like being okay to take up space. That's a beautiful way to honor yourself and to bring some power back to who you are. Number three here, number three, in terms of how you might be abandoning yourself right now without even realizing it, is that you're placing your worth and your value in external things like the people around you, your career or your money or your accomplishments. And this is actually like a huge, I mean, all of these are really big things that I help coach women on, but this one especially is a surprise one where I think a lot of people don't realize that they're searching for that external validation instead of creating internal validation. And once again, we come by it honestly because we live in a society where we're taught that other things around us make us worthy or make us good enough or special or whatever. They show status, all these external things, whether it's clothes or like appearance or money or gadgets. And like we think that these things are gonna make us worthy, or we think that the career, the family, the home is gonna make us worthy. But in doing that, you're constantly, again, giving your power away to things that are out of your control, versus what is in your control in any given moment is just yourself. It's just you. So you can bring that power back to yourself, bring that power back here, create that worthiness within, realize that you are inherently worthy. You are like over overflowing with self-worth just for being yourself. You're worthy just for being you, for being here right now, for taking a deep breath. You're worthy for existing. When you bring that back, you no longer get pulled into that game or into that matrix of seeking those external things or those people, which ties back into the first few points, right? So which ways of your, or in which ways and in which areas of your life are you placing your worth outside of yourself? And therefore almost creating this fragmented reality. So this morning I was doing a meditation. I do quantum healing, and I love to I self-guide myself, and I just go through and navigate these interesting terrains of things that are coming up for me. And this morning in my practice, I was kind of seeing all of these areas in my life where I had given my power away, whether that was silencing my voice or ignoring my needs at the expense of someone else's, making sure someone else felt comfortable, even though it ended up making me feel uncomfortable. That was so big for me. So many times in my life, I allowed myself to feel really uncomfortable because I didn't want to make someone else feel that way. And yet they were crossing my boundaries, or like doing things that were inappropriate, or having no energetic awareness or no mental awareness of what they were placing on me. And instead of me speaking up or setting a boundary or saying, hey, this is too much, or hey, I don't appreciate that, I just kind of continued to let it happen because I was avoiding the discomfort of potentially hurting them or hurting their feelings or whatever it was, right? And so I went through this practice, and I was going through all these different times in my life and seeing how much of an impact I had made. And it felt like all of these moments were taking like a tiny little fragment of my soul or of my essence. This beautiful, magnetic, infinite energy that I am and that you are was being separated, and little bits had been pulled away in that moment of dishonoring myself, or in that moment of playing small, or in that moment of people pleasing, or in that moment of dropping a boundary, or in that moment of sacrificing something that was important to me to fit in or to have approval or to make someone else happy, right? All of these things are examples of me abandoning myself. And so in this meditation, I saw that, and I could feel, the way that I was then spread out and getting thinner and thinner over my lifetime. And not like thinner, but just like there became less and less of that beautiful essence because I had been giving it away unknowingly. And so in the practice, I started to bring all of those back and like gather and collect and bring back in those parts of my soul, those fragments, those fractures, those moments of pain, reconnect to them. And instead of like abandoning them more or leaving them behind, it was like, no, I'm coming back for you, and I'm bringing you back with love. And I'm so grateful because in this experience and in this giving away, I've now gotten to this point where I realize that that wasn't healthy, or I realize I don't want to continue that pattern. And so I can take it back and I can add it back in to my heart and soul and just reunite with it, okay? And that's just, it was a beautiful visual for me to experience. So I wanted to share that on this video. And I just looked, and it says 3:33 on here, which it's not because I think it's like 11:30 where I am, but this clock hasn't been updated. But it's an angel number, so we're getting some beautiful confirmation here. So the next way that you might be abandoning yourself is you give your power to past mistakes and negative thoughts, and therefore sabotage any positive things that come into your life. And this is a biggie. This is why I preach and preach on this channel about mindset and reprogramming your mind and looking at the thoughts and how they're impacting you, because so many of us live in our past, in our negative thoughts, in the beliefs that have been created from our mistakes. And it's from that place that then we continue to perpetuate those cycles because we believe that's the only thing that exists. So if I've experienced something and it created pain or it created a moment of feeling unworthy or not good enough, and if I continue to identify and believe that story, then I'm going to be hesitant to do something similar in the future, or hesitant to like take a step out of my comfort zone, or scared to repeat that pattern. And so I'll end up self-sabotaging and staying stuck where I am, right? And so we can't have growth without mistakes. We can't have growth without those hurdles. But if we let those things define us, then so many people end up staying stuck and settling, which is also a form of self-sabotage and abandonment, because you're not giving into your dreams. And that's the next one, actually. So good segue there. But if you're giving your power to your negative thoughts, then you're basically constantly just saying, like, oh, those things mean more than this present moment, or those things mean more than my desires, or those things mean more than my ability to create or to build or to, really feel empowered in making a shift in my life. So it's very profound. It's a very powerful realization to look at the things we're giving our power to and how we can bring them back towards us. And so if you're someone who is struggling with the mindset piece and you're going like, oh, but my past was so strong, so it's really deeply affecting me, or you're thinking like my beliefs are so strong and are pretty negative and limiting and keeping me stuck and always looping through these same thought patterns, making me feel a certain way and therefore making me act a certain way, then check out down in the description box. I've got a free mindset training, and it's going to help you because on there I share 3 really important steps to reprogram your subconscious mind. And these are the exact same steps that I've used in my own life and that I've shared with so many clients before. And people who've just watched this training and applied the tools have had massive shifts to their paradigm, to the way they see themselves and talk to themselves and think about themselves. So highly recommend it if you're someone who gets stuck in that negative thought space. And then that brings us into step number 5, or point number 5, because they're not really steps. You may be abandoning yourself right now by settling for less than what you dream of because it's comfortable, safe, or it's what your family and friends tell you to do. So again, where are you giving your power away? Because you, my friend, you have a beautiful purpose and a beautiful gift that you were created with. You were literally put here on this planet to embody and to live out the things that light you up, the things that bring you the highest excitement. Those gifts are here for a reason. And so if you're not actually pursuing them, even in a small way, then you're abandoning yourself. You're abandoning your purpose and the reason of being. So if you're doing that for someone else's approval or because you feel pressure from people around you, that's okay. And it's not about judging it or thinking it's bad, but it's just about being aware of it so that you can make a change and realize, you know what? Am I going to live for these other people or am I going to live for myself? And I think every level of our life, we go through these new moments where we start to realize that. I've just been going through that again myself, where there are certain areas where I'm like, oh, I wasn't actually living for myself here. I was kind of settling because it was safe, or I was settling because this is what these people expected of me. And they kind of said things and voiced their opinions, and I gave more power to that than I did to like what my heart and soul knows it's here for. And so how can I retrieve those fragments? How can I retrieve that part of myself to once again feel empowered and to really start living for myself and showing up fully from that place? So um settling is just such a way of abandoning our dreams, our goals, our heart, our purpose, our vision. And so I really hope that this video will be helpful for you in seeing the different ways that you might be abandoning yourself and realizing that in this very moment you have the power to take your power back. You have the ability to really shift the way you see yourself, the way you're showing up, and the way you are giving that power away. And so all it takes is a decision, a conscious decision that you deserve better, that you're ready for more, and that you're going to start making the steps. And it doesn't mean that it all happens like that. It doesn't mean that all of a sudden everything falls away and you're in this beautiful, perfect world in reality. But it allows you to start to say no or shift those boundaries a little bit or start to create the separation that you need in order to actually realign. Maybe it's just about uncovering, like, what do I really want? Maybe your voice has been quiet for so long, like mine has or had, where I had to practice uncovering, well, what does it even mean to bring my voice back? What would that look like? And how do I take those baby steps to doing that? So I think the same for you is really looking at the little tangible steps you can take today. Feel free to share it in the comments below if you want to, because I would love to hear it and be able to like send good energy and celebrate with you and cheer you on as you're making these steps to taking your power back and reclaiming who you are. But yeah, feel free to share what you're going to do today or where you're going to focus your attention and energy and the powerful power, the innate power of your beliefs and your thoughts and your energy to start to shift and choose yourself, because this is where the self-empowerment begins, is realizing that you deserve to choose yourself. So with that said, I am super, super excited. If you haven't noticed, I think I shared it on another video recently, but I don't know if I've uploaded it yet. So you'll hear it soon. But I'm super excited because the doors have just opened for my Release to Thrive Mastermind. This is a 90-day group program, a beautiful container with myself and some other incredible women. And through this process, we do the deep releasing work to clear out the things that are holding you back, the different ways that your limiting beliefs, your anxiety, your insecurities, your past traumas and past struggles, and your doubts, like how these things are keeping you trapped, keeping you feeling small or disempowered or giving your power away and abandoning yourself, like I've just shared on this video. We uncover and we release those things, and then we start rebuilding and aligning with the confidence, with all the self-empowerment tools, really taking up space, being confident in who you are and what you're here to do in the world. And then we align with your intuition, with law of attraction, manifestation, really getting into that energetic alignment as well to create the life of your dreams and help you start to thrive, help you really take your power back over your life and start to show up fully. And so I'm super pumped because I've done some adjustments and like really, really crafted this program in such a beautiful way. And there are weekly group calls with myself and the other members. We've got some incredible co-coaches starting soon as well. And so I want to serve, I want to help you if you are in the process of taking your power back, self-empowerment, and you're looking for support, you're looking for a way to do it on a fast track so that you're not spending years and years trying all these different things and feeling alone in the process. So I've been there. I spent like 8 years traveling the world, working with different people and trying out as many different holistic tools and healing methods as I could. And I've compiled the most important steps in a beautiful process to help you really do long-lasting shifts and long-lasting release work. So I'm so excited to help because the clients, the women who have worked through this already have made such profound shifts in only 90 days. And that is the thing, is these beautiful transformations are possible and they can actually be ingrained and last when you have the proper tools. And I'm here to empower you to do this work and to feel like you have the ability to make these changes. It's not just like a surface fix. I'm not just giving you a band-aid and making you feel better for a few weeks and then you're gonna fall back off track. I'm teaching you all the exact tools you need so that you can come back to this. So when someone, crosses your boundaries, or when you have an unexpected, hardship or struggle, or when something goes on and you start to feel yourself in doubt or insecurity again, because this is life and those slip-ups do come, or those moments and those challenges do come. But when those happen, you have this toolbox. You know exactly what to return back to gain your composure, come back into yourself, and confidently make the changes or the shifts that are going to allow you to keep thriving and to keep progressing towards who it is you want to be and where it is you want to be and what it is you want to create on this planet. So I've dropped the link down below for Release to Thrive to learn more and book in a free discovery call with myself or a member of my team. And I cannot wait to chat with you. I cannot wait to see if this is a good fit and just learn how I can help you more. So if that is of interest to you, please make sure you click the link and book a call. And again, if you found this video helpful, As always, please hit the thumbs up. Please feel free to share and subscribe, and I will see you on the next video.